If it fails, just go straight in. Oh.
I don't know why it's throwing my name up there, but okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, yeah,
have we got anyone in the chat? No,
We've
not
got
yet.
Irene. Hello, Irene. I hope you're doing
Irene's
well.
there.
Hi,
Rita's-
Nettie. Good to see you.
Hey, Rita's in the kitchen.
She's slow off the mark today, Rita. She's normally there. She's normally there. She'll get in. She'll come in at some point, Rita.
Yeah, cool.
Good. Of course it is. It is in Japan, isn't it? Good early morning to you, Irene, or good evening as it is here. Hello, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Hey, it's good to see you in the chat. Excellent.
I take it you know who that
Are you all
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. Yeah, he's a friend of mine. Yeah.
You all keeping warm?
Oh, sir, she says
Hey, Rita.
Hi, Rita. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're keeping Eric in keeping it line.
No.
We know what trouble he is.
Are you all warm enough?
I could do with it being a bit hotter.
We've just had a hell of a downpour here. It's cooled it down a bit.
Oh, please let that come this way. Please. Hiya, Nicola. Hope you're doing well.
Hi, Nicola.
How's the heat in
Humid.
Wisconsin, Eric? It's bloody hot, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like
Super hot.
What?
It's probably hotter than. It's 70. We got 70. 70. What's it?
Fahrenheit.
Humidity.
Whoa.
At the moment, yeah.
What is it Celsius there?
It's only 25 here in my room at the moment.
Oh, okay.
So where is it where you are, Celsius?
It was only 20.
20. Okay. But yeah, I know. I saw somebody from Wisconsin today on YouTube, and they were saying how they were doing a live, and they were saying how bloody hot it is there.
Yeah, it's hot here.
So I thought, well, maybe we should.
Right.
All right, Brian, how you doing well, buddy?
Hi, Brian.
So I'm going to throw it open to Tim because Tim's going to host this one, as it were.
What do you
The Green Man.
The
My-
Green Man.
Oh, I tell you, my favourite, and
Me too.
you know, I've always been drawn to the Green Man. Obviously, a symbol from classic pagan symbol.
Not quite what I wanted to do, but I will do it that way. Hold on.
You
Give me a second, and you get to see my. You don't want to see that.
I'll put yours up.
You're not
Anyway,
showing porn,
so there it is.
There you go.
Yeah. Even now, I don't know if anyone knows this, but even at the coronation of King Charles last year, this was the invitation that was sent out to. You might have to zoom in to see it more, but this was the invitation that was sent out to all the guests. And there you can see at the bottom the Green Man. And
I don't think I can zoom in on it.
No, that's all right. I think they can see it.
How's that?
Oh, there you go.
That's a bit better. There he is at the bottom. And this design was done by somebody called Andrew Jameson. And it's fab.
It is beautiful.
And have you got the other picture there, Eric? They've also there's another picture where there it is, and this was actually this was actually sent out as well. With it. So I mean, even the monarchy, and they are claiming it's a British thing, but of course it's not. It's they have found Celtic jewelry when they've done excavations, of necklaces with symbols of the Green Man on, and they're literally everywhere. You can find the pubs are named the Green Man. You've got Green Man carvings on churches, and it's a sign of rebirth. You've got the Holly King around Christmas time, and then obviously as spring comes round, there's a big fight as it was, and the Green Man wins.
Going to Beltane, isn't it?
Yeah, the Green Man wins, and then we come back to rebirth, regeneration, and it goes round in a big cycle.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Now, it's an amazing cycle, and what a wonderful, wonderful way of looking at life.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's not. I don't think there's any wars ever been fought over paganism, or nature. And we all know it's real. We all know nature is real.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I mean, you can't find a better representation for nature, can you, than the Green Man? Which is, well, the names go with him, don't he? The Holly King, King of the Woods, you know, Robin Hood.
There's so many names for him, isn't there?
Oh, it's just the list goes on.
And it's just such an amazing subject. I mean, I've got a big tattoo on the side of me neck of him, and
yeah, I've got one on the back of my neck.
I find it so peaceful. You know, I've gone through a few things lately, and you go and sit in the woods, and you just feel better. It's my church. Simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad used to say you don't need a stuffy old building to go and worship the Lord.
No,
you can
of course.
Go into the woods.
Whatever you feel, even, you know, you don't need a building. You can just go and sit in the woods, and it works wonders. And it's fascinating. And we could go on for weeks talking about the Green Man. That's how big it is.
That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, I was looking up the history of him, and they were saying that he was discovered by archaeologists and historians in the early Byzantine epoch.
Yeah,
he was discovered 2nd century by the Romans. The Green Cross Code Man, I remember that. Yeah, that was the guy from Darth Vader. So he's throughout history. He's cropped up in many different places. A lot of people say his origins are actually from India. There's probably a lot of truth to that. And they say that paganism adopted him as a representative of nature and all that is good with nature. And I think you know what, nature, when you're connected to nature, you're connected to reality, you're connected to the essence of life. And he's considered to be a guardian of that. And he comes in many different representations. So, for example, you'd have the Wild Hunt, you would have the Green Man on that. You would also have you'd have Pan, the god of the pipes, is another representation of the Green Man. The Green Man represents him, and also the Celtic god, or Cernunnos.
Cernunnos. I've never been able to say that word. That's another one of my words I can't even say.
Cernunnos, and that's obviously we know that he's the horned god, and we know we know what the church did with the horned god. They used him as a representative of the devil. So they tried to do their best to lie about him, malign him, and turn the villagers and the people that were in the countries at the time, it was all countryside, against that religion. But you know what? I think they managed it for a short period, but it was just a slight mask of Christianity, because just underneath that, and even today, when you talk to people, their origins are still basically rooted within paganism.
Yeah. Fun fact is, when I was doing my big search on all the stuff that I want to go see over there, I must have found at least 100 churches that have that depiction of the Green Man on it. So
yeah, most of the churches will have it.
Yeah.
They have round here that inside Althorpe, which is where Princess Diana is. It's not a horrible one. It's a lovely it's concrete or cement or whatever, of a big Green Man in there.
Yeah.
You know, it's
the spirit of nature, isn't he? And he's also the yin and yang. He's also the male appendage to the goddess, isn't he?
Yeah, it's fertility, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Somebody said, I was reading it today, and I thought, what a lovely way of describing it. And they were saying that when they were in a forest, he was a woodsman of all things, and he said when he used to go into the forest, he used to look at the way that the leaves would grow out from the trees and they'd go down to the ground with their branches and they spread out the ground. He said it was also almost like it was the Green Man caressing Mother Earth. So you had that
Wow.
masculine, and you also had the feminine there in perfect unison. And I thought, what a way to describe it! What an absolutely fantastic way. And it just says it all, doesn't it? It says it all. And we have, you know, as we're saying, many names like Jack in the Green, which was a song that was made by, it was a song that was put together by Jethro Tull, and it was representative of the Green Man, you know, and that was back in the 60s, 70s. So yeah, so there's lots of different references to him, particularly within the paganism. It says, you know, exactly as you say, Tim.
Yeah, and when you think, I'm just so pleased that they had on the invitation for the. I didn't know this till today. I looked it up. You know, I was researching today. I didn't know that they'd used it in the invitations at the coronation.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
but you knew, Dan. You know everything. Blimey!
It was just something. Do you know? It's like a bit of information you pick up on the way, isn't it? It's not like I'm an oracle.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of information I picked up on the way. But it was interesting.
I was so pleased that they had that.
it was interesting, you know.
I'm gonna try to find that.
There you go. And you see him represented through the seasons, don't you? And as Tim said, you know, when you have winter turning over to spring, then you'll see the Holly King having a fight or an argument to push to clear the decks so the spring can then come through.
Yeah.
And it's all about rebirth, and it's about, you know, life springing forth. So it's all positive messages. Everything is a positive message. There's no negative messages with him. A friend of mine said that the image of him frightened her, and I could never understand why. Because to me, he doesn't represent anything negative. But I think that people in the back of their minds have still got this image that the church perpetrated.
The church done that.
Exactly, and it was obviously it was all propaganda. And it was done as a way of controlling people.
Control.
We know that.
I mean,
it's one.
They plant yew trees in churches. Now, nearly every church I've ever been to has got a yew tree in it.
Yeah.
Now, I can't. Who planted those trees? Who do? You know, I've researched this and looked into it. Who put the yew trees into the churchyard? Because that's a pagan thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think as well. I think if you look back as well, what I find, and I wonder if this is where the origins of that, if this is where the instance of those yew trees being in graveyards comes from, is that a lot of that land that churches are built on is actually sacred pagan land.
Right.
And the church, what they did is they commandeered it, and then they built their churches on it. Because I think that they knew that there was some sort of energy or power there, because a lot of these churches, ley lines run under them, and a lot of them are built, as I say, on pagan land. So I think they utilised that for the energies that went through, and also as a way of dictating. Say, look, we've won, we've beaten you, we've taken your lands, we've done this, we've done that, but they're still pagan sites, very much so.
Yeah.
You know, because the energies there are very much pagan.
I never thought of it like that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You plant a tree, not me. So yeah, I mean, so that's the thing. So I wonder if that's what, you know. So they say that the yew tree is only 700 years old. You know, this church has been here for over 1,000 years, so it couldn't be pagan. But it could have been a seedling that dropped from that tree, the original tree, and then that sprung forth. But it is to do with paganism because it's a protective. It protects the dead, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Most church buildings, convents, and monasteries are built on low. Yeah, exactly. Because most of it is pagan land.
Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised we got away with things like Stonehenge. I'm surprised they didn't pull that down the church and stick a bloody great cathedral on top of it. You know? And a lot of these sites that we're finding now and are being discovered now are
a lot of these circles,
because they've been lost to time. You know, so it's an interesting subject. So Bryce says the yew berry is both edible and poisonous. The center is edible, but the fleshy bell is poisonous. Oh, okay.
They also make bowls out of
that.
Sorry, Eric?
Didn't they used to make bows for bow and arrows?
Yes, they did, yeah.
Yeah, that was the yew trees, yeah, the original for the long bows, and the war bows were made from the wood of yews.
Wow.
And oaks, giant oaks as well.
Yeah.
Which is another representative. If you look at the Green Man and you look at the leaves, the foliage that surrounds him.
They're oak leaves, aren't they?
Oak leaves and holly.
Yeah.
Well, they're enough to always to Stonehenge. It would have been confusing, yeah. You and Rosewood. Rosewood what?
Rosewood wood from the tree.
Brother wouldn't, but Rosewood.
I got it there, Dan. I got that.
All right. And Viv says, Dan, remember the geometry that Uncle Norm did? He found 2 churches that had a pentacle in the gym. Yeah, it's the thing, isn't it?
Wow.
And
Did you? Where was that then?
Uncle Norm did. That was where was it, Viv? That was it in York? Not York. It was in Norfolk somewhere, wasn't it? Yeah, for both. Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. For both.
But you got to remember the way that you can tell these pagan sites that are true pagan sites is if the churchyard itself, or if the actual graveyard itself, and the land that the church sits on is circular. If it's circular, it really dictates that was a proper pagan sacred land.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So
yeah.
I'm not saying other ones weren't, but the circular ones were a definite thumbs up for it.
Wow.
So yeah, I think that I remember reading this years ago, that the reason that the churches, and I don't think this is the reason, but the reason that the churches took on the Green Man is that when they were being built initially by pagans, and as a way of sticking their fingers up to the Lord of the Manor, was to get a sneaky Green Man etched in there somewhere.
Really?
But I'll
tell you, Dan. Brilliant, because you've totally made sense. I've been looking for into it for ages, and you're right. It's
like anything else, isn't it? The churches have co-opted paganism. It's like I remember years ago going to a church wedding and with Hazel, and it was her friends, lovely people. But I think they looked at me as though I was I was a wrong pagan and stuff. And they looked at me like I was out my tree, or I was, oh, be careful with him, he'll curse you, that type of thing. That's the idea I got from him, when it couldn't be further from the truth, as you know. And I remember going to
William.
Got invited to their wedding, and we went to the wedding, and the same guy who married himself and Hazel, actually, I didn't like him. Very, very up his own arse, and just didn't like him at all. But he married this couple, and they were adamant that they were 100% Christian, right? Very anti-Christian, very anti. Is the Green? Yeah, the name was just co-opted for pubs and stuff. That was what it was.
Oh wow.
Anyway, went to this church wedding, and as I say, they were 100% Christian down the line. Very sort of negative towards paganism, very weary of it, because obviously their upbringing had made them think in that direction, and didn't get a chance to come through. But we were sitting at the back, and all of a sudden, this conceited reverend, he got their hands and put them together, and he used coloured ties, ribbon to bind and bond them. And I said at the end of it, that was a lovely service, but I didn't know you were pagan. What do you mean pagan? We're not pagan. I went, really? Because what you've done there is a true representation of paganism. Yeah. That's called hand binding.
Yeah.
The only thing you're missing, really, is what they used to do in America, the pagans, and even over here at one point, jump the broomstick. Yeah. Which is where the Peggy, what's the name song came from? Come on, everybody, let's jump the broomstick, let's tie the knot. And it's the same thing, And I said, no, it's not pagan. I said, that's exactly pagan. And then to hold the candle between both hands that are bound is pagan. You can't argue with that. And even today, you think to yourself, well, you've stolen this, you've stolen that, you've co-opted this, you utilised that, you've done this, you've done that,
all the dates.
You still can't see that it's pagan, even though and this religion, paganism, far exceeds any religion, really.
Oh, yeah,
it goes, right across the planet.
Yep.
They did. They did, absolutely. They did.
And the dates,
and even things like the pentacle was actually found. It was a symbol that was found on a tomb many centuries ago, and they co-opted that as well. Lots and lots of stuff have been co-opted. And that's why the Green Man means so much, because it's a representative of. To me, it might not have originally started as paganism. I do think it did. I think it did, and I genuinely believe that. But even if it didn't, it still represents pagan in its finest form, because it adopts its cap to nature, it bows to nature, and it accepts nature as the giver of everything. And we're a part of that. We're all part and parcel of that. And I think that's the beautiful thing about the Green Man. And like you, Tim, you're like me. We both got the Green Man tattooed on us, on our necks. But what do you think, Eric?
I don't know. I like listening to what you have to say.
You must get a Green Man tattooed, Eric. When you're over here.
I was thinking about that in my head when you said that. Getting a Green Man tattoo.
Excuse me. The only place that hasn't got the Green Man is the Americas, actually, isn't it?
No, they don't. America, they don't. I don't know if they got a representation of it, but the only Green Man that they've got over is what we've taken over there.
Don't go back that far.
Yeah, there's no archaeological evidence of any Green Men, is there?
The Native Americans that have nothing like that.
No.
The Caribbean have. They've got something called what is he called? Something Bois. Bois, but he's got. I can't remember what his first name is. But he's represented as a very old man, but he's strong. I suppose like an oak again, like an oak, old, gnarly, but very strong, with leaves coming out of his mouth.
Yep.
Yeah. Lots of. Do you know what?
Exactly. Yeah.
But you know who brought the Green Man over here?
Represented. Sorry, Eric.
You know who brought the Green Man over here? The Germans.
Yeah, they could very well have. Yeah.
It's a big European thing. Yeah,
it's a European thing. I mean, it's even been India. It's even been discovered in India and places like that.
Yeah, it goes back to in India. There's symbols that was there before Jesus.
Yeah, going way back, which is intriguing, isn't it? It's really, really interesting.
I think the Celts. I think the Celts brought it to the UK.
Yeah, well, I think originally the Celts came from India, didn't they?
Yeah, they moved across and
they moved right away across Europe.
They come to the UK, didn't they?
They did. There's some gods are similar.
They were the first invaders, and they are. Yeah. They are the Celts of the Irish and the Welsh now, aren't they?
Yeah. It's true. Which is why you find a lot of.
We're Saxons. We're Saxons this side of the country.
Well, do you know what? I'm a high percentage Irish, right? A lot of my bloodline is Irish. In fact, I'm 92% Irish. That's my genetic coding thing. But also, I'm 5% English, but I'm also 3% Scots. Yeah. And the thing is, if you look at a lot of the Irish and you look at a lot of the Scots, because the Scots, I think a lot of them came over from Ireland, didn't they, originally? But they were the Scotties, they were called. They were a tribe in Ireland called the Scotties, and then they moved across and they settled in Scotland. But you look at them, a lot of them are very, very dark. Very, very dark skinned. And my mum was she looked Italian. She wasn't, but she looked Italian. And then when you look into the heritage of the Celts, you think, well, that goes back to India. And also, some of the first land settlers in Scotland and when Ireland then went across to Scotland were Turks. So it's just odd, isn't it? But I'm proud to be Celtic Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah. I've been, the Green Man. I've been into it for years, and I'm learning. I've been studying Old English language for years.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? There's a guy online who does it. A young guy. You probably know him anyway.
Late begins with an L.
He's phenomenal. He talks in Old English. And you think, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Brian made a good point. The woads, like the wood woads. Some people say that's a representation of the Green Man, or that was.
Yeah.
As the Green Man.
There's images of him having the, the oak and that around him.
Like the wild man,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's just some. Oh,
I had
what
somebody I can't
a
find it.
fascinating subject this is.
Well, it's
Oh, there's
amazing
one
because
behind.
you go down like different avenues and you go down different sort of
Ooh.
rabbit holes. And I think the thing that blew me
Links
away
up.
and the thing that blew me away was that all these different cultures have all got the same, their religion, their belief systems, everything else, all go back to the same pot.
Yeah.
No matter where they are, they all go back to some original source. Aramaic, that's the Aramaic. I can't speak English really, Viv, probably. let alone bloody, and that's my mother tongue.
I've never heard of that, Andy. Not heard of
That's
it.
Viv's on Andy's.
Cool. Yeah.
Aramaic is the language of Christ.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
ancient Jewish is what they used to speak, which is they say a lot. It's weird because we didn't I didn't do it. A friend of mine did an investigation years ago. I wasn't on this one.
This is the tattoo I'm going to get.
They went to this. There you go. There you go.
That's fab.
I'll go with you and I'll get another one.
There you go.
They went to an investigation talking about Aramaic and languages. I know it's going off of it, but it remembered. And this guy in this property, they turned up and they thought, oh, he's got mental health problems. This guy's got, but what we'll do is we'll humour him. We'll do the investigation anyway, and we'll see what comes of it. So one of the investigators, which you don't see anymore, he opened up the hatch because this guy said there's all footsteps and everything coming to the hatch, and there's demons. And of course, when people mention demons, it's like, yeah, of course they are. So he put this voice recorder up in this loft. Oh, there you go.
I'll have to see that.
And they left it on record, and they went downstairs and had a cigarette, and the guy went with them. So then they went up and they said, right, we're done for the night. We're going to collect everything. Literally 5 minutes after coming back from a cigarette, we're going to go. So they retrieved it from upstairs, and somebody was listening to the audio, and they could hear two people talking.
Wow.
And he said, I can't make out what this is. I don't understand it. And my friend said, what, is it low or is it kind of garbled? And he went, no. You can hear the voices perfectly well. He went, what I mean is, I don't understand what language this is. Mm. So they sent it off to another friend who sent it to a laboratory for language. This guy at the BBC, I think it was, who worked with languages. And he went, well, you won't understand that because that's Aramaic. That's the language of Christ.
Blimey.
And he's like, well, hang on, maybe he has got something going on there. But anyway, that's Aramaic. That's what it is. Yeah. Well, what did Bryce say? The Roman version of King Arthur talks to collaborate. Well, King Arthur as well, you see. They even say that Merlin, when Merlin left, when King Arthur went, Merlin disappeared into the woods. And even Merlin is seen as a representation of the Green Man because he lived amongst the foliage and lived amongst the wildlife. There's even one, I can't think who it is, even in which is my favourite, I can't remember the name now. What is it? It'll come to me. Anyway, it's the Lord of the Rings. Even in the Lord of the Rings, and they never put this hobbit in, but there's a hobbit in that actually lives in the woods and he lives amongst the wild things. And he doesn't ever get involved, never gets involved with human interactions. But he's always happy. He's always smiling. He lives in the woods. He does his own thing, and he lives his life amongst the woods. And he comes out now and again. And he is also meant to be a representation of the Green Man, of the spirit of the woods. So you see him cropping up everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere. Like Robin Hood, again, Keeper of the Green Woods, Merry Men.
Yeah.
I know I have it on here.
Shaman. Yeah, it could be Brian. Yeah.
Whoa. Holy cow.
I think that was about before Merlin, Dan. Oh, no, William. He's been around for millennia. He's been around for a very, very long time. All I'm saying is they said that when Merlin went into the woods, he became Green Man. And he's been around before the idea of Robin Hood and lots of these myths and legends. But they ascribed the idea of the Green Man to him. So, yeah, don't misconstrue me. Don't think that's what I said. That's not what I said at all.
There is a thing called Merlin's Cave in England. I know there is because I wrote it down.
Oh, there's lots of Merlin stuff in England. It's everywhere you go, and Wales. In actual fact, Merlin is he's Welsh, and so is King Arthur. Arthur Pendragon comes from comes from the Welsh.
Yeah,
exactly, an aspect. So, yeah, exactly. Hi, Lorna. And it's just intriguing. It's just intriguing. You know, it's like you said, we can go on about this for many, many episodes because it's a never-ending font of a font and wealth of information. You know.
But you're right. I think it's really weird that it happens. Like even on gravestones, I've seen it.
Yeah, because it's you know, I don't think there's nothing negative about it at all.
Yeah.
Nothing negative.
You've seen them on gravestones over in America, Eric? Or...
No, just on pictures for graveyard.
What was here? Do you think is the Green Man? Yeah, exactly, Viv. That's what I was saying. They think that the Woodwoes were the Green Man going back in prehistory. History, but medieval period. What was that? I didn't. Sorry, Eric. Can you put that back up?
Here, sorry.
Viv's one. Yeah. Thank you. The Woodwoes here. Do you think of the Green Man? Yeah. Reports in history describing slaves in 60s here. So you think reports? Yeah, I think it's very much the foot in the spiritual, even to the point that and this was a Christian that said this, and I watched him on a YouTube channel, and even he said he was talking to somebody who was a poet, a Christian poet, and he was talking about the Green Man, and he said, "Look, the one thing I can't get my head around is that I was looking out of my window, and I saw a man clothed in green and clothed in leaves, sitting in the bough of a tree." He said, the next day I went out and I walked over and I looked up. He went, but the thing is, he went, there was nothing, there was no branches or anything that he could climb up to get to that height. It was the trunk of the tree was completely bare up until the first, where he saw him sitting, up until the first bough. He said, which was impossible to get up to. You know, I suppose he could have done it with a ladder. He said, but he went in the back of an island. He just vanished. He said, he looked at me and smiled. And then they were talking about children saw a little green creature or a little green man with foliage on him running around some bushes. And the kids, being kids, ran over to see him. And he sort of disappeared into the woods behind it. So it's very much the spirit of the woods. And, you know, is the green man trees? Are they the spirits of the trees? Are they the, you know?
It could be.
Every tree's got an energy spirit. And even the Native Americans call them, what do they call them? Standing men. So they even use the trees as a representation. Some of the tribes, they call them standing men, standing brothers, standing sisters. So they see them as, you know, living, intelligent things. That's the Jolly Green Giant.
Yeah. Tree sprites.
Tree sprites, yeah. But we don't know. Tree sprites could be, you know, we don't know, do we? We don't. Yeah. It's all supposition and conjecture. But the fact that there's lots of these, I remember reading an article years ago, not that long ago, actually a year or two, and a woman said she hugged the tree, and when she looked up, there was like she said he looked like an elf, but he was sitting in the tree and he was looking down and laughing. She went and she rubbed her eyes and looked up and he was gone. So it's kind of like, you know, they enjoy you communing with nature. They want you to show love. Yeah. You know, I'm very much, I will say it, and I'll be honest with you, I'm a tree hugger.
Yeah. Dan, I can tell your passion for this. I can, you know, it's just amazing. Yeah.
I just love it. Like you, it's like one of those things that you get attached to, and you just run with it, and then you try and drink up as much information about it. Like yourself, Tim. Yeah. You know, it's like you get it, and it's like, it's one of them things you either get or you don't. I think.
You know, if only the whole world would be like it.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, it can be, can't it?
Yeah.
It can be. It's just there's arseholes in it, unfortunately. Most people, I think, are good. Most people are genuine. Most people are nice, irrespective where they come from.
Yeah.
But you've got pricks.
Oh, God.
Know, and they just ruin it.
And unfortunately, most of them are in power.
Yeah. I've always said, if you can get rid of world government, you could probably have a better time of it, really.
Oh, bloody hell. Christ, you would.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I wish it'd be like that as well, but I really do. Turn over a new leaf, hug a tree, laugh out loud. But I do. I love a tree. And you can feel the energy. It sounds hippie.
Oh yeah,
You
absolutely.
feel the energy from it, you know.
Well,
and
you're so
I love
grounded.
it. I absolutely love it. Because exactly, mate.
Yeah, you know, I was talking about St. John's Churchyard earlier.
Yes.
There's a Lawson cypress. It took me ages to identify this tree, but this tree is got to be 100 feet tall and about 10 feet round. It's massive, and that's been there. And I often look at a tree and I think, what have you seen, fella?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What have you seen in your lifetime?
Yeah.
And I'm also a big believer in the stone tape theory, and I bet it's got some tales to tell.
Oh, do you know what? I look at those trees, and it's cool. I romanticize it a bit, really, because you look at it.
Yeah.
How many lovers met under that tree and then went their own ways? How many
and
lovers?
Everything that's gone on under it.
Yeah.
Everything.
And there's a book out that was written. It was written in the 70s, I think, or 60s. A brilliant book. There's two. I can't think of the man's name who wrote them. I used to have them, and I must get them. And when I get them, I will let everybody know what it is. There's one called The Last Gnomes of England.
Lorna. Yeah.
Are you Lorna? Something like Lorna. One's called The Last Gnomes of England, and it's about the last 3 gnomes of England, and they've got to navigate their way through the cities and the towns to find where a bit of peace away from urbanization. And they go on this journey, and it's amazing. It's heartbreaking, beautiful, and amazing. They find their nirvana in the end, which is great. And also, he wrote a book about an oak tree, and it goes through the history of this oak tree from a sapling, or from an oak falling from the branch, the seed gets into the earth, and then comes forward, and then as it grows up, it gives you information about what it tells you what it saw, right the way through the English Civil War, right the way up into the First World War, Second World War, right the way up to a housing estate built around it.
Well, you know,
I'd love to read that. I'd love to read that.
I will get the name of the book, mate. I will definitely get the name of the book and the author.
Thank you. Yeah,
I'd like it, and I'll let you know definitely. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because the Green Man really started to take off in popularity in the 50s, and I think that obviously before that, he's been around forever, isn't he? But in popularity with a lot of the pagan community in that, it really took hold in the 50s. And I think the reason for that, and somebody else said it as well, and I thought, yeah, you're right, is because of the industrialization that had gone on in the planet, those satanic mills, as they were told. There's one poet wrote the dark satanic mills. Because of that, and because of the way that the environment had been fucked over and destroyed by mechanisms and by the Industrial Revolution, that he came forward and he was adopted because it was a way of kicking back against industrialization and looking for a new, which is why the hippies and that in the 50s and 60s adopted him, and you saw him all over their vans and that's it, you know, and that's part of it. What was the memoirs before then? Before the sorry, brother, I understand that. My Mighty Oak fell over. It had TPO on it. They said around 400 years ago, oak disease, and the wind took it. It was beautiful. Yeah, I think, yeah, sad, so sad.
The oak tree is such a it's just England, isn't it?
You know what? You think of all our battleships that were made out of that. Battleships, the Tudor Rose, all of them were built out of that. And it was, wasn't it? Come on, men of England with hearts as stout as oak. And that was it, wasn't it? You know, and it was always the oak was representative of England, Albion.
It supports so much wildlife too.
But exactly.
You know, in the form of insects and.
Exactly. Do you know what, Brian? You say the moors were forests everywhere. Back in the medieval period, everywhere was a forest. Yeah. There were small villages, little towns, but they were tiny in comparison to what we got today. Yeah. And if you took somebody of medieval period, they wouldn't recognise it, because to travel from one town to another, you would have to travel through dark forest, deep forest.
Mm.
Yeah, it's amazing, phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal, you know, and it's just I think the thing with the Green Man is it just once you get, you know what it's like, Tim. Once you get injected with the passion for it.
Yeah, I totally am, Dan. I totally am.
Yeah, exactly. You're like,
even since I was a little boy, I started.
Yeah.
It like we said earlier, before the internet came along, we went to the library and done our research.
And we played around trees, didn't we? We played around trees and
we was outside.
Yeah.
It was hard to find any information when we were kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trees are much stronger than man. They can stand still and withstand the most harshest weather, and they can live longer than man. I've written about it. Yeah, absolutely beautiful, William. Nothing swells my heart as much as seeing a forest and trees and woods.
And I'd also like to see that manuscript too. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Totally agree.
On the road through the forest and not into Pontefract. Yeah.
I do know there's somebody. I don't know if somebody wove it into some branches into a Green Man, but I know somewhere in England there is one. I've seen it when I was looking through all the pictures and stuff.
You'll find them everywhere here. Everywhere you'll find Green Men here.
There's like a statue or something of him, you know, made out of wood. So
well, the thing is, even if it isn't British in its origins, it's certainly as British as anything else because it's woven itself into the fabric.
I think the British adopted it. You know, the Celts brought it over, and then it became a big thing, very big thing.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty much, I guess, like you look at things like a lot of people. They have, you know, it's all about Vikings, isn't it? Which is great. Don't get me wrong, but I look at a lot of these people with the Viking tattoos and the Viking this, and you think, you know what? My left toe's more Viking than you, and I haven't got any Viking in me whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? You think yourself, you should really be getting things like Anglo-Saxon or Celtic tattoos and stuff like that. It's very good if you've got a heritage that goes back to Sweden or what have you. You know, then fine, get it. But unless you know, why have you got? You know, my God also talks about equals and mighty oak.
It's probably TV programs have done that, Dan.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. They seem to forget about our own native. You know, I mean, they tried a little while back, didn't they? To turn around and say, and it was a bit of whitewashing our culture and history, unfortunately, not get political, but they tried to say that there was no such thing as an Anglo-Saxon because they tried to change history, don't they? Because they don't want you to know the truth.
You know,
it doesn't empower you. If they take away your origins and your history and your heritage, you've got nothing. They can manipulate you.
Yeah.
You know, Boudica and
like the Irish are, Boudica,
I gotta do something real quick, so I'm going to need to stop.
What a legend she was.
Yeah, amazing. That's what annoys me as well when people turn around and say, "Oh, you can't do this." I say to my girl, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that. You're a girl, and we'll tell them fucking Boudica was a girl.
Yeah,
and she kicked the arse of many
Romans, didn't she?
She gave the Romans a right run for their money. So
tell them that. Chester and lots of other cities.
Yeah. You know, they might not physically be as strong as men, but they fucking still fought alongside them.
Well, she knew how to warriors. She knew how to lead a battle. That was the main thing.
Yeah, and they followed her, didn't they? I think they raped her daughter, didn't they? And they decimated her village.
Rather
than sit back and take it, she's like, "Fuck that! You can have some of this back."
That's what kicked it all off. Yeah.
Yeah, and she kicked their asses, didn't she? And that's the thing. You know, Viv, I'm not getting a Narnak tattoo. Danny looks like my granddad. I live in Boudica's hometown. You do live in Boudica's hometown. Unfortunately, Viv, when I go around to visit you, she's never in.
Do you know, I love this show because we start off with the Green Man and then we go right out but it's all into other subjects, but it's all linked, isn't it? I think it's all linked, the paranormal. It's all linked up together. And the annoying thing is we can't find the bloody answers to any of it.
No. Do you know what I said to somebody? You think, I think I might have an answer to this. But it's not an answer. It's a doorway to fucking 50 more questions.
Yeah. It drives you nuts.
I know.
It's the paranormal. It just drives you nuts.
You're not getting a guru now. It does. It drives you mental. It does, mate. Was it not getting Guru Nanak tattoo, Dan. He looks like my granddad. I live in Buddha. Yeah, exactly.
I seen it.
Yeah, I see. Yeah,
that was Buddhicus. Yeah.
Hell, have no. You're right, Lorna. It doesn't. So that's what I like to say when people say, "Oh yeah."
Listen, I wonder if that was here.
Tell my daughter.
Yeah, I tell you what, I love a red-headed girl. Red-headed girl with green eyes, perfect.
Yeah, beautiful. Rabbit's all we're traveling apparel do. But that's the thing. I always say to my daughter, they don't take that shit. Tell them about the Iceni. Tell them about Boudica. Tell them like she took no shit.
When I was a kid, she was called Boadicea.
I know. I think the Ponzi middle class brats have got hold of it and changed it to some sort of Ponzi middle class name.
When did it change to Boudica? I don't even know.
The last few years.
All right.
A Boadicea. I've always called her Boadicea. There's an amazing statue of her in London, isn't there, on a plinth on the Thames? My
ex Tim. Yeah, I've had a beautiful red-headed girl with green eyes too. So
I was dating.
Now I had a beautiful green-haired girl with red eyes.
Good man.
Why am I not surprised by that?
I think she might have been possessed though.
Yeah. You can hear it in the background. Dad.
But yeah, it's an amazing subject, and it's one of those you said, Tim. It's one of those.
Yeah. We
could go on, and we will. There you go. I think that's probably you that turned her hair grey. I know you. You that done that, mate.
Yeah, you turned her head grey, mate.
She was. It was. Most of them I've been out with Ian have been that demons. Yeah. I'm sure they have. Or they're normal when I went out. Normal when I started going out with them, but they weren't normal after I've been with them for a while. There's reminiscence of the Iceni town there that you can visit here in Chatteris linked to Boudica. Yeah, part of where we are over in St Albans, there's a big bit of land there where Boudica had a camp. Dan, you're what's a goober?
A goober.
Yeah,
speaking as a nutter.
What? Not a goober.
Have you got locked in that kitchen again, Eric? Is she in the kitchen?
No, she's not allowed in the kitchen. She doesn't know how to cook. She doesn't.
You're a brave man, you are.
Brave or stupid or both. I don't know quite what one it is. But yeah, but it is one of them subjects that you can just dive into, and it's just a never ending, font of information.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me you don't know how to cook. Yeah. He doesn't know how to cook.
Don't ask me about that. Vince, you've got to stop doing that. Take that down. Take it down. Take it down. Eric, take it down.
What? This one?
McDonald's.
Steve, for fuck's sake, stop saying that. I'm lying. Boudica and travel. Where's she travel? That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, Boadicea, Boudica. It's really annoying, isn't it?
So what about McDonald's?
But yeah, no, it's annoying. It is annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be interesting to go back in time and to the medieval period and then ask somebody, they're an artisan or somebody who's building, say, well, why have you put these there? What's the representation of the green man in the church? Like that, Eric.
I reckon you're probably right. What you said earlier, Dan, where, like you said, the people who built these things, these churches, put a cheeky little carving up.
Yeah, as a way of sticking your fingers up to the man, as it were.
And the religious, the Christian people didn't even realise, didn't know.
No, and probably because most of them that went to church at that time, they weren't actually, they were co-opted to go, weren't they? They were dictated to by the law of the land.
Yeah, it was fear-based.
Yeah. You owed your living, your home, and everything to the Lord. And if you didn't turn up at church, which is why when you go into a church, you have where the old gentry used to sit is slightly higher than the rest of the pews. So what they used to do, the gentry would sit in the higher pew, and they would look down and over the church so they could get a view of everybody in there. And if you weren't there, they could tell. And they'd mark you down. and then they come and see you after church to find out why you weren't there.
Wow.
It's all about control, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you control the people, you control everything. Pretty much like governments.
I was just going to say. How we go off subjects, brilliant.
I know.
Well, I don't mind, but you know.
But then it's all linked, I think. It is all linked together.
It's all linked.
Well, it's
It
kind
is
of, I mean, you think about all the different dimensions that happen in the universe, in not our universe, but multiple universes. It's all got to bleed in somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yes,
It definitely
Eric. Yeah. It blows your mind. It blows your mind away.
Oh, there you go. Here's a question. Do you think that the Green Man and the Hunter get on, or would I think they're one of the same?
They're the same. They're the same.
The same. They're the same,
yeah.
Viv. They're the same.
Yeah.
I remember back in the 80s, I don't
Just
know.
a different
Maybe
name.
you remember it, Tim. Do you remember, Eric won't, because it was a British programme. Anybody here over the age of 50 will remember it. There was a programme called Robin Hood.
Robin Hooded Man.
The Hooded Man. And it was Clannad, wasn't it? Who used to do that Celtic
song,
which was amazing. And Herne the Hunter always turned up when Robin was in the woods, didn't he?
It was he was quite magical. Yeah, he was actually, the last thing he did was in Emmerdale. He was in Emmerdale.
He was.
He
was. And they said that even then, even though he got wounded by an arrow, because he'd turn up, wouldn't he? He'd be adorned with the antlers of a deer, and he'd have deer skins around on him. And even then, they used it. They said that he's a living god. So it was even then, even in the kids program, they showed you that he was what they called a living god. So he was the guardian of the forest, wasn't he? The green, the green place. But thanks, Rita. Got to thank Tim for this. Tim picked this one.
I'll tell you, I've totally loved this show tonight.
Yeah, it's been brilliant.
Such a fabulous. I mean, what a brilliant, paganism. It's all pagan. What a brilliant religion. It just teaches nature and what we're all about, really.
There's no hate or animosity. Is there?
Well, that's all it was.
There's never been a war fought over paganism. No. Not as far as I know.
And the only people I've ever seen with anything sharp is druids or witches, and they use the thames, don't they? Or the druids will use the sickle to cut the holly, as if they are religious items, aren't they? They're sacred items. Hi, Bill.
Hey, Bill. Shrek.
He could be, I suppose, but
Shrek,
I think
he could be related.
An ogre, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an ogre.
He's an ogre, isn't he?
Yeah.
Who knows? I think there's a little bit in every. I agree. It has been very interesting, diverse with humour intermixed. Oh, brilliant! Thank you. So it's been a really good night, and I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank Tim for hosting it, and also for suggesting and bringing this topic to the table, because it is one that we both love. And Eric, thanks very much for overseeing everything. You've done a fantastic job as always.
Thanks for doing those photos, Eric, because like I said, I didn't know that, because I haven't watched the news for 2 years because it's too depressing. But I didn't realise that at the coronation that they'd had that in the invitation with the Green Man and that lovely bit of writing.
I'd love to get my hands on one of those invitations. Obviously, it's too late to use it now, but it'd be nice to even a replica of it with the great. Brilliant.
That seems
like it was a good evening. It was a good evening. William, you've got to get in early. Yeah. Make the most of it. But William, thanks for coming anyway. You're always there. You're a stalwart. You're a star, as is Tim, according to Viv, which is true. But next week, I had one in my mind's eye that I was going to pick, but I think I'm going to go for something more esoteric, I think, for next week. I don't quite know what yet, but I will let you all know beforehand, so that you can bump up on it or buff up on it and get all your information. Tim, I'll get the name of the author of those books and the name of those books.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yeah.
I'll also stick them on somewhere so that other people can see them, or I'll mention them in the next show that we do. Tim only this week though. And I'm just an hour too short. It is. Excellent. I will definitely get them. I'll get those two. I will send them to you and Tim, and I'll put it up in the chat for everybody else next week, or I'll tell everybody what it was. It's great books, amazing books. They're for children, but they've got such a good environmental message in them that it's just phenomenal. Ace of Base.
I wish they'd teach paganism and all these myths and legends and what have you in school.
Well, it's part of the history and heritage of the nation, isn't it? So
yeah.
I think that, like, they always, with RE and stuff, they always include your general population or your general your bread and butter religions, if you like. But the oldest religion in the world, and globally, and I mean globally, they don't, and particularly, they don't teach difference. They don't teach you about it, and I think it's a crying shame.
Totally ignored.
And it's a crying shame as well that a lot of people that are paganism or practice paganism in whatever dimension or whatever are seen as crackpots.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they're not. They're absolutely not. They're just very loving, kind, friendly, nature-loving, nature-respecting people. Well, that's true, Brian. Yeah, it does make you wonder, mate.
My granddad, he taught me more from taking me out on his walks around the countryside than I ever learned in school.
Yeah. When I look back, I sometimes think to myself, without reading and writing and basic maths, I didn't really come away with a lot. And history, I didn't really come away with a lot from school, to be honest. You've learned far more on your journey after than you do.
Yeah.
Oh, send my love to Lindsay. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, I'll come up with one for next week, guys. I'm not quite sure what it is. Yeah, it'll be an esoteric one. I'll let the boys know, and then I'll see how they feel about it, and then we'll come up with it between us, and I'll come up with an idea, and then we'll go with it. I know we're going to finish a bit early, but thanks very much, buddy, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed this evening. As I say, thanks, Tim. Thanks, Eric. Brilliant. Thanks very much. And thanks to you guys in the chat. Thanks to you guys in the chat. Oh, tomorrow we've got Nettie. Is Nettie there? Nettie or Brian? Could you tell us? I can never remember the name of your podcast tomorrow night. But tomorrow night you got cheers, Ian. Oh, Ian's part of the podcast as well tomorrow. They're the Ghost Guys, which is Ian, and it's also Brian. They're both in the chat. And they've got Nettie. Freaky Friday. Bless you, Nettie. Freaky Friday. It's a fantastic show. I've watched it consistently every week, and you won't be disappointed. Really good. And I'm not really into watching a lot of the podcasts, but I do watch theirs because it's good. It's good. Not that I'm saying the others aren't, but I think theirs has a lot more for me than some of the old podcasts.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Exactly. So yeah, it does rule. Freaky Friday does rule. It's fantastic. So we've got that tomorrow night. Nettie, are you on? Have you got a show on Sunday?
Yeah, I think they do.
I don't know what that show's called either.
They have.
Excellent. Barry Frankish on tomorrow night. So Barry Frankish is only too much. He's the guy who's the paranormal. What's it called? Community. He's what they call them. Paranormal.
Proud to be paranormal.
Proud to be paranormal. He's the chap who does that. It's his idea and he's running it. So he does lots of good work. So you can chat to him tomorrow night. So that'll be fun. Shadows and Lights on Sunday. I don't know what they're talking about, but you'll have to tune in and watch
Shadows and Lights, and that's
it. Monday we've got the Dark Mirror Boys. Yeah. So hopefully we'll have Ian, Wayne, and Josh. We'll have them on. Always good. Another good show as well. I like their shows. Tuesday is, well, I think it's me and you, and is it us three? No, it's me and you, Eric, isn't it? Tuesday.
It's me, you, Ian, Mark, and Jamie, if he's available.
Ian, Mark, Jamie, me, and Eric, and we will be talking about. I did on the tip of my tongue. We'll actually be. What we'll be talking about? We're talking about expeditions.
Yeah, but I think we changed.
Did we change it? Did we change it? I don't know. I know nothing.
I'll send you the thing for it.
Oh, Bryce getting interviewed on. Oh, God, you definitely got to watch you've definitely got to watch Shadows and Lights on Sunday because Brian's getting interviewed. And I'll tell you what, there'll be some nasty shit comes out there. But this man is filth, I tell you. Some of the stuff. No, he's a very interesting man. Really nice guy. Nettie might say different, but he's a lovely man, lovely guy. And he's really interesting to listen to. So be good. I'll be listening in to that on Sunday as well. Always the last to know, Ian. Always the last to know. And Wednesday we've got Steve Mear. Oh, Tuesday, yeah, we got me and Eric and the boys. And Wednesday we've got Steve Mear. Steve Mear is fantastic, really good to interview, really interesting guy. So he's a font of knowledge. The guy, absolutely amazing. So we'll be speaking to him on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to that. So that's it. That'll wrap this week up for us. We'll see you Tuesday, myself and Eric. We'll see you Wednesday as well with Steve Meara, and Tim and myself and Eric will be back again next Thursday with a different subject, a new subject. So thanks very much, guys. Take it easy, and we'll speak to you later. Thank you ever so much.
Bye.
Mañana.